Has anyone ever wondered why China, a global powerhouse, finds itself in serious trouble today? As the world turns its gaze towards the east, we find China, the world's second-largest economy, grappling with a multitude of challenges. Once hailed as the epitome of growth and development, the nation now confronts a myriad of issues that threaten to undermine its progress and destabilize its position on the global stage. In the heart of Asia, China's robust dragon, it seems, is facing some turbulence. From economic slowdown to environmental concerns, from demographic dilemmas to human rights issues, and not to mention the ever-escalating geopolitical tensions, it's a stormy forecast for this Asian giant. Let's begin with the economy. China's economic growth has been the envy of the world for decades. But recently the dragon's fire seems to be cooling off. The nation is experiencing a noticeable slowdown, which is not only impacting its domestic landscape but also sending ripples across the global economy. But what exactly is causing this economic downturn? We'll explore this in detail in the coming minutes. Next, we have the demographic dilemma. With the world's largest population, you'd think China has an endless supply of manpower. But surprisingly, it's facing a serious demographic crisis. An aging population and a dwindling workforce pose significant challenges to the nation's future. Then there's the pressing issue of environmental degradation. China's rapid industrialization has come at a steep price. The country is now wrestling with massive pollution problems and environmental concerns. Human rights issues too have cast a long shadow over China's global image. Allegations of widespread human rights abuses and lack of freedom have stirred international outcry and strained China's relations with many countries. Lastly, the geopolitical tensions. China's assertive stance in international affairs, particularly its territorial disputes with neighboring countries, has sparked serious geopolitical tensions, adding another layer of complexity to its current predicament. Indeed, these are challenging times for China. Each of these issues is a significant hurdle in its own right, but together, they form a complex web that threatens to entangle the dragon. Stay tuned as we delve into the complexities of these issues and try to understand the roots of China's current predicament. First and foremost on our list is the economic slowdown that China is currently experiencing. A dragon that once roared with economic prowess, China is now grappling with a pace that's more of a whimper than a roar. But what's behind this slowdown? Several factors come into play. A key one is the shift from an export-based economy to a more consumer-oriented one. This transition, while necessary for long-term sustainability, has its growing pains. China's middle class, while expanding, still has a way to go before it can fully drive domestic consumption. Then there's the trade war with the United States. Tariffs and trade tensions have taken a toll on exports, a crucial component of China's economy. With uncertainties looming, businesses are hesitant to make investments, further slowing down economic activity. Let's not forget the debt problem. China's debt has ballooned over the years, reaching over 3 times its gross domestic product. While it's stoked short-term growth, it's now a ticking time bomb threatening the stability of its financial system. The impacts of this slowdown are far-reaching. Domestically, it's leading to job losses and a decrease in living standards. Internationally, it's sending ripples through global markets. Countries that heavily rely on China for their exports are feeling the pinch. The Chinese economy's slowdown is not just China's problem, it's the world's problem. But it's not all doom and gloom. China is taking steps to address these issues. From implementing structural reforms to providing fiscal stimulus, the country is making efforts to stabilize its economy and ensure sustainable growth. Yet the road to recovery is not a smooth one. It's fraught with challenges and uncertainties. Will these measures be enough to rekindle the dragon's fire? Only time will tell. With an economy that has been the engine of global growth for decades now showing signs of fatigue, the implications are indeed serious. Second on our list is China's demographic dilemma. The dragon nation is grappling with a rapidly aging population, a ticking demographic time bomb. The number of citizens aged 60 and above is projected to reach nearly a third of the population by the middle of the century. This demographic shift has far-reaching implications for China's social structure and economy. The increasing dependency ratio, with fewer working-age people supporting a growing number of retirees, places a significant burden on the nation's social security and healthcare systems. It's not just about the economic strain. There's a social aspect too. The traditional Chinese family structure, where the young take care of the old, is under pressure as the one-child policy has resulted in a generation of only children now responsible for 2 parents and 4 grandparents. With a declining birth rate and a shrinking labor force, China is staring at a future where there might be too many old people and not enough young people to support them. The demographic dilemma poses a significant challenge for China's future development. Third on our list is China's pressing environmental concerns. The world's most populous nation faces a daunting task in tackling various forms of environmental degradation. Air pollution, a particularly grave issue, blankets many of China's bustling cities, causing both public health crises and economic setbacks. Water pollution, too, is a critical problem, with industrial waste and untreated sewage contaminating rivers and underground water sources. This not only threatens the health of millions, but also poses risks to the country's food security. These environmental issues are further complicated by the rapid urbanization and industrial growth that have propelled China's economy over the past few decades. The environmental cost of this growth has been steep, with the World Health Organization estimating that over 1 million Chinese citizens die prematurely each year due to pollution-related health issues. Addressing these environmental concerns is not just about improving public health, it's also crucial for the nation's long-term economic growth. If left unchecked, the damage to the environment could hinder China's progress and its ambitions of becoming a global leader. The environmental concerns present a critical challenge for China's sustainable development. Fourth on our list is the issue of human rights in China. A subject that has been at the forefront of global conversations, the human rights situation in the nation is complex, multifaceted, and deeply concerning. At the heart of the matter is the Chinese government's tightly controlled grip on information. Censorship is a pervasive issue, with the state maintaining strong control over what can be published or broadcasted. This, coupled with the widespread use of surveillance technologies, has sparked debates about the right to privacy and freedom of expression. The Great Firewall of China, a term used to describe the country's internet censorship system, is an emblematic example of this issue. But the conversation on human rights in China extends beyond censorship and surveillance. The country's treatment of ethnic minorities, particularly the Uyghur Muslim minority in the Xinjiang region, has drawn global condemnation. Reports of forced labor, mass surveillance, and re-education camps have put the spotlight on the issue of ethnic discrimination and cultural assimilation. The Chinese government's approach to human rights is deeply rooted in its political and cultural context. It tends to prioritize social stability and economic development over individual rights and freedoms. This perspective, however, has led to a clash with Western values, where human rights are often viewed as universal and non-negotiable. It's also worth noting that the human rights situation in China is not just an internal matter. It has significant implications for the country's international relations. Western countries, for instance, have been increasingly critical of China's human rights record, leading to diplomatic tensions and economic repercussions. The human rights issues in China have become a focal point of international concern. As we move forward, it remains to be seen how these issues will evolve and what impact they will have on China's future trajectory. Last on our list, but certainly not least, are the geopolitical tensions surrounding China. As an emerging global power, China has been involved in territorial disputes and strained relations with several countries, creating a precarious balance in the international arena. Among these disputes, the most prominent are those in the South China Sea, where China's territorial claims overlap with those of several Southeast Asian countries. This issue has not only caused rifts with its immediate neighbors, but has also drawn the concern of global powers like the United States. There's also the long-standing tension with Taiwan, a democratic island that China views as a renegade province. These geopolitical issues have the potential to escalate into larger conflicts, causing further instability in the region and beyond. Moreover, China's ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, aimed at increasing its global influence, has been met with mixed reactions. While some countries see it as an opportunity for economic development, others view it as a strategic move by China to extend its geopolitical reach. The geopolitical tensions add another layer of complexity to China's current situation. To recap, we have discussed 5 major issues that China is currently facing. The economic slowdown, marked by a dip in GDP growth and consumption, has raised eyebrows worldwide. Coupled with this, China's demographic dilemma, an aging population and declining birth rates, threatens to upset the balance of its workforce. The environmental concerns, including air and water pollution, are not only a health hazard but also a blot on China's international reputation. The human rights issues, notably censorship and restriction of freedoms, have been a constant source of international criticism and internal unrest. Lastly, the geopolitical tensions, particularly the strained relations with the United States and its neighbors, have put China in a delicate and precarious position on the world stage. Each of these issues, individually and collectively, has serious implications for China's future. Understanding these issues is key to understanding why China is in serious trouble today.